to keep you open. Because a king don't cry, king don't die, king don't lie, king give all, king get by, king don't fall, kingdom come. When I come, you know why. King, I am T'Challa.
What's up, guys? It's Alex.
It's Quinn.
It's Iconic Comic. We are back, and we are going to spoil review Black Panther. We just did our non-spoiler when we were begging to just get all this stuff out.
We got to tear into this thing.
All right, but before we get into this really quick, head over to tblocks.com. Check out some cool geek t-shirts. You can use our code IconicTBX. Save 10% off your order. Now let's get into this, please.
Oh, gosh. Okay, where to begin? You know what? This might be the one where I want to start from the beginning. Well, because normally we do spoiler reviews, we really jump around the beginning. But this movie's so good, you might as well just go through the whole thing.
It sucked us in with the very beginning scene. Because
I remember when we were sitting in the theater, we went and saw it in IMAX first. Highly recommend that. I also highly recommend Dolby Cinema if you got one of those. They do the big IMAX, like, this is IMAX, blah, blah, blah. And then usually it goes right into the movie, which it did. But I always say, I never get tired of the IMAX thing. And then I lean over, and I also never get tired of this. And I was expecting the Marvel logo
thing right after.
But
it didn't.
It just, very nice and calmly, it was a real quick, in case you didn't see Civil War, or you have no idea who Black Panther is, or if you've really never seen a Marvel movie before, a literal, 45-second, this is Black Panther, and this is why he is who he is. And it worked perfectly. It was T'Chaka telling young T'Challa voiceover, and this really cool stylistic, I don't know, it was almost like...
Are you sure it wasn't his brother telling his son?
It sounded like T'Chaka, though.
I don't think so. I think it sounded like his brother telling...
Maybe that's supposed to be
young
like
warmonger.
Maybe that's supposed... Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Maybe that's supposed to be
why do I keep saying warmonger?
Maybe it's supposed to be like an interpretation thing, but I'm not sure. So,
either way.
The way they did it stylistically, though, it was very similar, like almost the Kryptonian technology in Man of Steel, like the bead kind of technology. Then we go into Oakland, California, and all the title cards, going to place were so cool because it started off in Wakandan, and then it would change over to English, and we see one man who's a Wakandan. He's planning a raid with this other guy, and then all of a sudden enter Black Panther 1.0, which was T'Chaka, which was so cool. Whoever they got to play him looked like a young T'Chaka.
That was awesome.
Oh, it was so good. You want to feed off me there?
Okay, so and then so you saw that scene and you're like, oh shit, they're really in I don't even know how to explain it.
They're going for it.
They are really going for it. And then after that, we get the Marvel title thing.
Yeah.
Which, that's the first time that's happened. I feel like.
No, they've done
in the
it
MCU.
They did it for Civil War, remember?
Did they?
It started off with the scene with Bucky, from the 90s. And then it was it went right from he goes good job, soldier, or whatever, and then
okay, that's right.
They've done it just a very few times, but it was I like that almost better. Almost give us a little caveat, a little intro,
because they wanted this to be about Black Panther, not about Marvel.
But that Marvel logo is just the best. And I said I never get tired of seeing it. Especially in the theater where it's so loud.
And then the next scene that I remember is Black Panther is up in this ship, right? And then they're about to get what was that girl's name?
Nakira.
Yeah, Nakira, which is Black Panther's ex, or whatever. It was really funny to see the interaction between the general and Black Panther and telling him not to freeze up.
Okoye.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of humor, and we didn't really touch on this in non-spoiler, but that right there, when they had this little joke where she's about to grab the spear and he's like, no, Okoye, I can handle this myself, and she just goes kind of eye rolls okay, that was the kind of humor this movie had. There were no and I'm gonna say this coming from someone who loves this movie, there was never an Age of Ultron quip humor, because it wouldn't have made sense for any of the characters.
No.
Every bit of humor in this movie was character driven, and conversational. Like, this would happen in this conversation. You know, don't freeze. I never freeze. And then when he gets down there and he sees her, he's like, Nakira, hi. Like, he freeze, and it's so cool. Like Black Panther up to that moment for us, like seeing him in Civil War, it's like, this dude's stoic. And then he just kind of crumbles in that one moment, just like, it's a girl, hi.
But then when he took down that group of dudes, dude. But what was really cool is then he was about to take this kid out, and then she stops him like, he is a child.
Yeah, he's just a boy. Like, they took him to be a soldier.
Yeah.
I will say about that scene, though, it worried me going forward in the movie, and it was almost very similar Civil War, actually. It was almost exactly where the very first fight scene is very, like, Born Identity, like, super choppy and, like super shaky cam. I think that was the point, though, of that fight scene, to show, like, almost like a Batman kind of deal, like, just striking from the shadows.
Yeah.
When they did that in Civil War, as the first fight scene, I'm like, oh, is this going to be like how this is the whole movie? And then, like, they did the airport scene and, like, the chase scene, and it was just very, like, follow, not shaky cam. Same thing in this movie. They started with that. I was like, oh, I hope this isn't how all the combat is. And then going forward, the next fight scene, and this we'll go into, is the ritual combat scene.
That was awesome.
Nothing made me want to fight another human being more than that scene. Like, so, you know, he shows up, and it's you know, challenge day. But so whenever there's a new king, they don't just, like, it wasn't just like, all right, you're going to be crowned new king. No, you got to go through his trials. So every tribe of Wakanda gets, like, a shot to say, we want a challenge for the throne. Nobody did, except for the one outcast tribe, the Jabari tribe, who are kind of live on their own, don't really listen. They show up and they're like, all right, let's do this thing.
But what was really cool is that, you know, to do this challenge, they took away his Black Panther power.
He's a man.
It's like, he is now a mortal man.
He is.
You know, because it reminded me of what Tony Stark said to Peter Parker. If you're nothing without the suit, you don't deserve to wear it. So
full circle.
It kind of played off that in my head. It's like, if he can't
do it without the power, he doesn't deserve the power.
Not just kill someone.
With great power comes great responsibility.
if he can't lead without the power, then he doesn't deserve the power.
Exactly.
So obviously he won.
But I like that it wasn't like a walk in the park.
Oh, he got stabbed pretty good.
Dude, like, well, in the combat, it's like, right now, it's like the top two hand-to-hand combat fighters in the MCU are Cap and Black Panther. They have the most knowledge of martial arts, and, like, the moment I saw Black Panther throw a #1 jump side kick to this dude's #1, meaning front leg, sorry, we're getting technical now, a front leg jump side kick to this guy's body, knocking across, I went,
yes.
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 Then he gets stabbed. And then he's like, well, first, before he gets stabbed, it was almost scary and brutal. He gets wrapped around from the back, and M'Baku was just headbutting him, and it was brutal. And then you see, like, his mom, slow-mo, because it's him, from his point of view, just go, show him who you really are. And me and her next to each other going, oh. You know, then he headbutts him back, elbows him on the head, gets stabbed, and almost kind of Man of Steel's it, or Batman just, like, kind of pulls that shit in, like, I am Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Chaka, and, like, we're, like, almost, like, standing up at this point, like, oh my gosh, do it now, and he gets this, like reverse triangle, like, around his neck, and he is telling him, yield or I will kill you. You fought valiantly, your people need you. And that's a king. He's thinking like a king, not like a murderer, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, that was really awesome to see someone go through that. But also, and I keep talking about the culture, but how close-knit the majority of the whole country is. Except for the
Jabari tribe.
The Jabari tribe. But they turned out good in the end.
Yeah.
Anyway.
By the way, M'Baku is in the Infinity War trailer when he when it's all the Wakandan warriors and he does this.
Yeah.
He's right behind him. We didn't know that until we've seen the movie, but that was cool to see. So then we go our first scene with Eric Killmonger. You're in this British museum, and you can already tell. So like this woman walks up to him. It's like almost like you're not dressed well enough to be in here kind of conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she kind of talked down to him a
like
little
talking
bit.
down to him, and he's going around like you're the expert apparently. Like, what's this? What's this artifact? Blah blah blah. What's this one? She tells him, it's like, nah, no, it's not. And she's like, what? No, it's Wakandan. Like, I'll take it off your hands. And really cool scene just to show the mentality of this guy and Claw, who shows up afterwards. Claw is just kind of this, like, he is the. Remember when we were talking about the trailers, we thought, Claw was the puppet master, Killmonger was the bad guy.
I was just thinking that.
It was kind of the other way around. Killmonger was working all of them. Like, this is all for, like, I've been planning this since I was a kid to go through this.
Yeah, I thought the whole time that Claw was going to be the big baddie, and he would get his hands on some vibranium weapons, but it was
Spoiler
a
alert.
nice switcheroo.
He doesn't last long, which very surprising because he's pretty much Black Panther's biggest nemesis in the comics, and they kind of just go poo-poo with that, like
Just straight killed him.
let's wipe our butts with that part of the comic. Let's so we get in that museum scene, we really see the mentality of Killmonger going forward, and then we get to probably. I'm not going to say, I can't say anything's my favorite scene because there's so many good ones, but definitely one of my favorite scenes was the scene in South Korea where they're going to find Claw. They show up at this casino. It was very James Bond-like, the whole mission.
Yeah.
And that was really when I started to hear the soundtrack, like when they're walking into the club.
Yeah, it was The Weeknd.
Yeah, and I'm just like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, I'm digging this. And like you said it, like they all walk in together, and they're like, okay, let's go. And like they even turn cool, like
They all turn at the same time. I was like, what?
They even turn cool, and that's where Martin Freeman shows up, Ross, and you know what? I will say in Civil War, I didn't really like him. I like it at all.
Yeah.
Just not him as an actor or a character. Just like I didn't like what his character was doing, like because he was kind of like not a bad guy, but he was kind of keeping Cap from doing stuff, and like he was like mom and dad, like. But in this movie, I really liked him in this movie. Like I was really surprised. Somebody made a real funny joke. They said, yeah, Martin Freeman, who was Bilbo, and Andy Serkis, who was Gollum. They're both from J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings. It's like they're the Tolkien white guys. Like the Tolkien white. That was funny. So that's where we really. We saw that Wakandans don't always, they go out and they take care of business, and they have, that's where we start to see the technology part of it too. You got their communications and their, his new suit.
Dude, his
new suit.
Okay, now, the way this suit works, like, whatever energy it receives, it absorbs it, and he can transfer it back. So
Right.
when he roundhoused it, sent the suit across the room,
Another funny moment, by the way.
and then he did the same thing again. It knocked him back just as far, and then right after that scene in Korea where they're doing the car chase and stuff, all the stuff that's hitting him, he's absorbing all that.
And that's that scene in the trailer. You see the car implode. We're like, so did you just jump off it, or did the
It's
car?
like what happened. He gets on it and boom, all that energy stops this, just
all those people
destroys
are
this
dead.
car. Oh my god, it was so awesome.
I know, it was so good. And this we kind of skipped over it. They did it. Honestly, probably one of my top 3 scenes in the movie was her showing all his new tech.
Oh,
I love that scene. Not only because it showed off the new tech, obviously, but it really cemented what kind of relationship, this brother-sister relationship that they have. Like when he walks in and she's like, "My king," and he's like, stop it," like, and then they do their cool little thing. It's like, oh, and they're walking through, and she gives him the "What are those?" and
That was hilarious.
He's wearing like the king sandals, and then she hands him. Now I will say, she gives him the soundproof sneakers. I call them sneakers. I thought that was gonna pay off later somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he never wore them again. I thought it would have been cool. Here's one nitpick. I thought it would have been cool, like, if, like, to get the, heart-shaped herb, or to sneak back into Wakanda, like, he put on the shoes, like, and, like, snuck into a building or something. They're soundproof.
Yeah.
I feel like they might have been a payoff that just got cut from the movie, because every other bit of technology was used somewhere else, except for that.
I mean, it might be used in
Infinity War.
Yeah,
Sneakers.
like to
sneak past Thanos.
Oh, you don't know?
Maybe.
Like, we'll see about that.
And then that's where you see the new suits. It's so good. It's so good. So then you get the South Korea, the whole chase scene with Claw, and then we'll just skip forward a little bit. Killmonger comes to town, and he is not playing around. Like, he shows up, he's got Claw's body. That scene, by the way, when he just kills everybody, that's when I went, okay, he's legit.
He's serious.
Like, when Claw had his girlfriend, and he was just like, it's gonna be okay. Bam, takes her out, then takes out Claw. It's like, this mission is bigger than just the throne. This is his legacy.
Just like the money that they get from selling the vibranium. So he brings Claw, and what's the tribe that brought him?
I can't remember.
It was
the name.
T'Challa's friend.
Yeah, and
He
they
was
were
in
like
charge
they
of
were
this
the
other-
rhino herders, and they were
Yeah.
the border kind of
So
watch.
brings Claw, which Claw did who did he kill of that guy's? Like, he did something to that dude's family.
Claw did something to the leader of the rhino herders tribe. Killed them during like the 90s when he came first and stole all that vibranium.
So they bring him, they bring Killmonger to the palace, and that scene, it was kind of like the Jedi Council.
It was a little bit.
A little bit, with T'Challa just
done
sitting
way
there.
better, by the way.
Oh yeah. So basically, we get Killmonger's motif.
Dude, when he goes like, I did something your king couldn't, and then T'Challa just stands up and starts walking towards him.
And gets like right in that dude's grill. I'm like
the only reason I don't kill you where you stand is because I know who you are. And we kind of glossed over, Forrest Whitaker telling the story, which was super hard. Like, T'Challa's like, because right there you see T'Challa feels for Killmonger. He feels like it's somewhat his fault, through his father's actions. So he's like, that's like, I'm sparing you right now because I know who you are and I know we did you wrong, but you need to get out of here, kind of deal. You don't leave though.
Nope, he does not leave. But when he challenges for the throne,
he's got the ring in his hand and he just
everybody's like, no, this is preposterous, and then like right in the middle, and I accept your challenge. I'm like,
but both of us knew at that mic he's gonna lose. He is way too cocky right now. He's way too cocky, and it's too early in the movie.
That may have been a little bit of a negative for me.
Like
it doesn't take away from the
telegraphed,
movie.
Like they
a little bit telegraphed.
The only time I didn't think it was telegraphed there, like when he was like, I think it was telegraphed when he goes like, he gets there and he's like, I give you one more chance. Or no, that's not when it was telegraphed when Shuri was talking to his mom. Is like this is gonna be over quick. Like T'Challa's gonna beat him, whatever. And it's like, oh well, now he's definitely not, because that would be if here's the other part though. It's kind of a weird hand thing. It's like, because if say she says that and he does beat him, it's like, well, I mean that was. But she says that and he doesn't beat him, and then we go, well, they kind of telegraphed it. So they were really.
So it's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
Right, but when he throws him over the waterfall,
I cried. The reaction of everybody. It was the leading up. I started getting choked up when he kills Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
Zuri was his name. Something. Oh, I can't remember his name.
Not Zuri.
I think it was Zuri. I really do.
I don't know.
But he kills him.
Forget.
And then you see T'Challa's reaction, and then he's just mocking him. Like, this your king? And he's just like, miss, knee to the head, put him over his back, and then there's that little sudden little pause in the music, you see the shot of the queen and his sister, and then whew, and then the
Stars
reaction
right
of
over.
everybody, it hit me so hard, because even it hit me hard. We both knew he's coming back. Like, this is Black Panther's movie. He's in
the
Infinity
trailer for Infinity War.
War. So it's like, we know he's coming back, but oh my God, he just killed him.
But then when they christened their new king, all the warriors they were loyal to the crown. They're the throne,
Yeah.
which was really cool to see. And they didn't all of a sudden just kill him.
And it continues into the next scene with Okoye and Nakira when they're talking, back and forth. Like, Nakira's like, "All right, let's go. We gotta save T'Challa. We gotta overthrow him." She's like, "What are you talking about? Like, no, like, I serve the throne, no matter who sits on it. That's my job." Like, and then when she hits her with the line, it's like, "I'm loyal to my country. You're a spy. Who are you loyal to?" And like, there were two great lines in that scene, because then it's like, "I'm here to serve my country." No, I'm here to save my country. And like, it's like, well, who's right? Like, they're both kind of right. And it goes back to the Killmonger thing. It's like, I get why he's the way he is. He was kind of screwed for life.
Now, let's talk about the ancestral plane. The first time we saw T'Challa go into it, that white, I don't know what you would call it, but what he was wearing was...
I wish I could pull that off.
was really cool.
Only he could pull that off.
Gets up and he goes over to the tree.
I don't know how they did it, where movie magic somehow, they did it where he was laying in dirt in a white thing, and nothing happened. Like, there was nothing on it. Scotch guard?
Either way.
Wakandan guard?
Goes over to the tree, and you see all the Panthers in the tree, and then one jumps down, and it's his father.
They were all like the past Panthers.
Yeah. And it was so cool, because he died in his arms. So then that hug that he gave his father was like, oh!
It was very Mufasa Simba, but I thought I've done way better in my opinion. And that's not a slight on Lion King, by the way. Don't jump on me. I like Lion King, but even died in his arms, just like Simba, Mufasa kind of deal. Dad, get up.
Oh God!
Okay, well, let's not bring that scene up. The ancestral plane.
But okay,
it was almost like a passing of the torch.
It was.
And when he goes down and he's crying and he goes, "Stand up, you are a king."
I was like, now,
because it's like he's his son, but he knows, like, you're a king now. Get up. You have a country to run.
But he didn't say it in like a mean way.
The stand up was just stern. It's like, stand up. You are a king.
But now let's parallel it with when Killmonger, when he was christened, the whole ceremony when he goes into the ancestral plane
is still great.
It was back in California, in his house,
his home. Maybe
home.
Maybe we're not. Remember, because he goes like, maybe they're the ones that are lost, and that's why they can't find us, like, here. Because he was saying, like, I've given you the keys to go to Wakanda, but they may not let you in. You're not one of them.
But it was really cool to see that parallel.
That scene was so important.
When he's talking to his father, which T'Chaka killed him. Killed his father. Killed
his brother.
Killed Killmonger's father. His brother. There's no family in this.
T'Challa is Killmonger's cousin. Like, it's family.
There's a lot of family.
This is a very, like, Shakespearean movie in a way.
Oh yeah.
But that scene was so important right there. Not that I didn't buy it before, but that scene right there, when you're seeing that conversation between it, and it kept switching from young Killmonger to older Killmonger back to young Killmonger, which was done great. The way they did that, it was like, I feel for this bad guy.
When his dad started to cry.
Well,
like, I've lost you.
Because, remember when he goes like, no tears for me, and then it would have felt completely different if the adult one said it. The kid one goes, everybody dies. It's like, oh my gosh, like, that hit so much harder with the kid saying it. And after that scene, it's like, I feel for this bad guy. Like, he's a bad guy, but I understand what and it pays off in the very end of the movie. And we'll get to that. Like, it pays off in the very end from that scene. So then we get, after that, he takes the throne. His plan is to send out weapons to these Wakandan spies to start revolutions, basically take down governments and make Wakanda the rulers of the world, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you have the little group of T'Challa's friends. They're going to the Jabari tribe to meet M'Baku and give him the heart shaper, the last one. And
because after Killmonger got out of the ancestral plane,
it's the scene in the trailer.
to take the some herb gives you
the
that
heart-shaped herb, yeah.
Gives you the power of the Black Panther, and there's a whole garden of them.
Give one of those to Hulk.
Anyway, oh god, I can't. Infinity War.
Well, they're gone now.
That's true.
Burn it all.
He burned them all.
Yep.
But they saved one, and they were gonna give it to how do you say his name? M'Baku. They were gonna give it to him, but then M'Baku, he's like,
change of heart.
let me show you something. And then and you see Black Panther laying in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to keep him alive, I guess. Anyway, they give him the flower. He comes back to life.
But he goes back to the ancestral plane one last time.
Called his dad out.
And it was all of them.
Called them all out.
It was like...
Which is brave as shit.
When T'Challa got angry in this movie, you felt it.
Oh.
And when he yelled...
It was scary.
When he said, all of you are wrong. Like, it was like, I'm going to shut up and listen now. Even his dad was like, I'm going to shut up and listen now.
All right.
And, that was... I'm trying to think... It reminds me of a scene in some other movie where it was like, it was dead ancestors, whatever, and someone who was on the brink of choosing death or life. It was like, come with us. And it's like, I can't. I got stuff to do. It was like Harry Potter.
Oh my god.
Might have been Harry Potter. It was like,
no, not Harry Potter. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's gonna bother me.
There's been scenes like that in other movies where it's like, it's time to, join us. It's like I can't. Like the whole movie leading up to that point was all about how much they miss being with them. And when it got to that point
Hercules.
where it's like... Was it Hercules?
I don't know. It kind of reminded me of that.
Either way.
Yeah.
Great scene, and then we get the comeback. When he takes down one of the ships that's first leaving, and he crawls over top of it, and is just walking towards Killmonger like this, and he tells him, he's like, I did not yield, and as you can see, I'm still alive. And Killmonger's already like, all that challenge shit, that's done. Like, I'm the king. And that's when the coup starts, the overthrow of the empire. But it was so cool to see who would take whose side, because and it's gonna be real interesting to see the aftermath of after the movie. What happens with the tribe, T'Challa's friend? He turns on him. At the end, he yields, but it was a mutiny. But at the same time, it wasn't a mutiny because he was really king. So it's like, how do you judge that? And I don't know if they're going to touch it in Infinity War. Infinity War is going to have to be a long movie. They got M'Baku in Infinity War. Like, the movie's going to be long. But it's going to be interesting to see the lasting cracks of not only Civil War, but Black Panther itself in Infinity War when it comes to those relationships. But then you get the uprising. You got Ross piloting a ship, which was dope, which was so dope. And when he gets tangled up, and she's like, make an X with your arms, now break it, and like it sends out the sonic boom. I'm like, okay, blah blah blah.
But what was really cool, what Ross did, because Ross was shot in the back, and he was gonna die. Is way back, way earlier in the movie.
Glazed over that part,
but T'Challa said, let's bring him back to Wakanda. Let's heal him and save his life.
Mm-hmm.
He recognized that. So when it came time, like when it was crunch time, and then there was one more ship, but there was a ship right outside, like, trying to kill him.
Like the Nick Fury Winter Soldier kind of deal. Like, what's the glass? Like, he's like, how much time do I got? Like, or like it's glass integrity at 50%. Put me back in.
And then the way he said it was, put me back in. I was like,
what? Oh, so ready. I'll really not, it's mostly just action. It's really hard to get in depth with the action. So
It was
really
badass.
cool fight scenes, and then you get the finale of Black Panther versus Killmonger on the sonic magnetic train thing. And it was a good payoff because earlier they talked about it's like I designed these sonic things to disable vibranium temporarily while we travel because it's too dangerous to send it on that speed on its own because it would just kind of keep going, I guess, and break shit. So he said, turn it on. She's like, but you won't be protected. Neither will he. So it was this fight. Like every so often it would just like turn on and it would just be kind of, there would be holes in the armor and it would just kind of phase in and out. And the move he does to finish it, Killmonger's got him over the side. He's got this knife and he's about to present it, and he like hits it out of his hand. It goes up in the air, and the thing's gone and it's forming back to go full seal. And he finds the one hole and gets it in
right there. Yeah.
And the first thing Killmonger says is, "It was a hell of a move." He gives it to him. He's like, "That was a hell of a move." And that scene going forward into the finale death of Killmonger.
That scene was so awesome because he said he was told by his father like the sunsets are the most beautiful sunsets there that you'll ever see.
And I listened to it more the second time, like the conversation when they're on the train. He's just kind of like dying. He goes like, little kid from California believing in fairy tales. Like whatever, and T'Challa is just kind of recognizing what's going on, so he takes him up to the Panther statue in there in front of the sunset. Not the best CGI in that scene, I will say. They look like heads on bodies, but like when it was up close, it was fine. But it was like the long shots. It's like heads on bodies,
they look like heads on bodies.
Heads on like CGI bodies, like real head on CGI body when it was from afar. That was like the only time the CGI was like I could tell. But the conversation they have between each other there was like. This is why this was, and I almost didn't want him to die because I'm like, I want to see him more. I want to see more Killmonger now. Because when he goes, we can still save you. Why? So, you can put me in a cage? No. Just bury me in the ocean like my ancestors who jumped from the ships because they knew death was better than bondage. I almost fell out of my seat when he said that. I went, oh my gosh. This movie just hit everything. Seriously,
right
every
there,
emotion.
At that moment, and then when he finally dies, you pulls that shit out. You saw T'Challa still. He felt a sense of loss because he actually lost
and guilt.
A part of his blood family.
He pulls that shit out. Whenever somebody does that in a movie, it's so woo. You remember Wolverine, the one where he goes to Japan?
Yeah.
And he gets stabbed at the samurai sword. It's like, what are you? The Wolverine. And he pulls out. Anytime someone pulls a giant stick out of their body, it's cool.
But it's gotta hurt.
And then we go into the finale of the movie, which is, obviously he gets the throne back and everything. He gets Nakira, to stay. Makes out with her a little bit, and then they go to California. And they show up there. Mm-hmm. And,
oh my God, this was so awesome.
Well, it was funny. I love the first.
More, Quinn.
The first line was hilarious when he's with his sister. It's like, I thought when you were going to take me to California the first time, I thought you meant Coachella or Disneyland. Why are we here? And he's like, this is where our father murdered our uncle. Well, good, they're tearing it down. No, they're not. I bought this building.
And that one.
And that one.
And that one.
This is going to be the first Wakandan, I'm trying to think of the name.
Not rehab, but...
No, it was out branch facility. So basically where to connect with the world. And it was like, Kira's going to be the social aspect of that. You are going to handle the distribution of science and technology to everybody. And, income. I will say, little cheesy, but... When I think about it, it's like, okay, this is a world where aliens have attacked, so it's like, if this would have been the first time this had happened, no Avengers movie, I'd have been like, But, he makes the ship come down, and all the kids are like, I'll sell it on eBay. And they're talking, and the one kid walks up to Black Panther, and it's like, is that yours? And Black Panther just kind of smiles. Who are you? I am Iron Man.
Oh my God.
And then we get the credits.
I think, but the scene... I think it was right after the credits or like the mid credit scene.
I will say, I wish that was the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I wish that was the final scene.
So
of the movie.
it was a press conference where T'Challa is speaking to this big group of what was it?
It's the United Nations, really.
Yeah, the UN, and he's basically, here's what's going to happen. You know, Wakanda's now going to set up all these stations across the world, and then he did mention the sanctums. Like
he didn't remember,
or who did?
Killmonger. He didn't mention sanctums, but it was just funny how they were all where sanctums were. Killmonger was like, "Well, we'll send the weapons out to London, New York, and Hong Kong, which are the 3 sanctums of Doctor Strange."
So anyway, one of the politicians says, "Well, you know,
what do you have to offer
like
us?
what does Wakanda have to offer?" And then
just pans
the looks that they gave each other, and then when T'Challa is just like
smirks.
I was like, "Oh yes."
You don't even know.
It's like you don't. What would have been cool is like show them, and then like she shows them.
So do you think?
Else.
Remember we talked about it in the Infinity War Super Bowl trailer breakdown. Maybe that Iron Man suit was a little Wakandan technology, the nanotech, like the Black Panther. Well, if it was vibranium, it'd be some crazy stuff. Because that'd be almost OP. But at the same time, like I don't know why he wouldn't make it out of vibranium. They get their friends now. But the nanotech, where it just like forms on, like the Black Panther suit. Maybe, and it's in the thing that he's wearing, and it just like that, and he gets it from Shuri, and then Shuri becomes Ironheart in a future movie, the new Iron Man after Tony Stark dies. I'm in, and then you get the second post-credit scene, which is
there was so much to unpack there. You have no idea. We'll save it.
The second post-credit scene, which was kind of expected, was Bucky coming out of a tent, which means they've obviously found a way to get the words out of his head. So now he's completely good now. No one can ever use Bucky for, an enemy's purpose or whatever. Because he comes out and he thanks her, which means he's most likely good now. Like remember, when he went away, he's like, until they can find a way to get the words out of my head, I think going under is the best for everybody. So he comes out and, I like how she goes, like Sergeant Barnes. And he's like, it's Bucky. Like, my name's Bucky. I love that. It's like, you have much to learn. Let's go. Like, I feel like Steve's gonna show up, and Bucky's like, these are my peeps. Like these are my
Steve. Oh, that's with 2 arms.
Or one at first. It's like,
I guess one at first.
And get this man an arm. Like, is there anything else? Like anything else you can think of?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think we've unpacked this movie thoroughly.
I want to see Black Panther 2. I almost want to see a solo movie of every character. Like, I want to see a solo M'Baku movie. I want to see a solo just Wakanda movie. I want to see a solo Shuri movie. I want to see it all.
Yeah, I was just gonna let you go, but you.
I want to see a Vibranium movie. God, how cool would it be if Vibranium was real? Like,
all right, guys. Well, go down to the comment section. Let us know what you guys thought of this movie and our review. Make sure you guys like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe
so that you don't miss anything from this channel. And if you don't catch our reviews soon on YouTube or whatever, right after movies, use a Stardust. Go and Stardust. Check out our reactions. Our Black Panther one's on there. Are you about to say something else?
Kind of. I was just gonna real fast. What'd you give the score?
10.
10 out of 10. 9.75 right now. You know what? After talking about it, I'm just going to give it a 10. I'm just giving it out there. So 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. You can put spoiler comments in this one, but refrain from putting spoiler comments in the non-spoiler review, or we will remove them. So drop down there. Tell us your favorite parts of this movie.
Make sure you guys stay tuned.
Stay iconic.
And cue music.
Holy Grail.